Hey, good morning, y'all. Meteorologist John Homenuk with Empire Weather. Hope everyone had a great week. It's Friday, and we're here with the latest long-range video update. Not too much change to the expectations of the forecast, but we'll break it down and take you through what we expect for the next couple weeks as we head through September. First thing to cover is that the La Niña is still very much in control. We're looking at the sea surface temperature anomaly across the globe, and we can see we still have the La Niña dominating the equatorial Pacific. We also still have warm waters here across the majority of the North Pacific Ocean. This warm blob here has actually moved back to the west here a bit, into the northwestern Pacific, just south of the Aleutian Islands and the Bering Strait. And we still have warm water here, though, that's existing into the Gulf of Alaska, and plenty of it off the coast of the western U.S. A lot of warm water here as well. Very, very warm off the northeast U.S. coast and into the North Atlantic. All these things are going to be important for the U.S. pattern moving forward, but the main driving factor right now is the La Niña. The MJO remains fairly quiet. If we look at the latest Hofmolar plots, which are a new feature here on Weather Bell, really not much change. Look at this. Trade winds are still cranking. We still have the forecast for the La Niña to remain consistent. This is very impressive stuff here all the way through, here taking us through today, and then we move forward and look at what's coming, and it's still very consistent here through about the middle of September. Really not much change to the expectations from a La Niña standpoint. And again, backing up to the sea surface temperatures, you can clearly see that it's still very much in control. So let's look at what's going on here in a little bit of a shorter term. We have a quiet weather pattern across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley here to start the day today, but we did have some storms ongoing across the northern plains last night, moving into parts of the Dakotas and Minnesota. And then as we move forward here, we'll see this front kind of meander into the northern plains through today. So we're expecting some showers and storms to continue across parts of Minnesota and Wisconsin, with that front draping down into parts of Nebraska and South Dakota. That front will push southward as we move into Saturday morning, and so we're actually expecting to see some enhancement of moisture along this front. That'll include parts of Nebraska Friday night into Saturday, and then parts of Kansas as the low pressure system here drops down into the Rockies from Saturday into Sunday morning. Very thin frontal boundary, but some rainfall along it as it drops southward, even into the Texas Panhandle here on Sunday morning. We're looking at precipitation totals through that time. You can see the areas of heavier precip. We have these areas of storms here in northern Minnesota, and then our frontal boundary through Wisconsin and Iowa, down here into Nebraska and Kansas and the Texas Panhandle. This is where we're likely looking at the potential for more than a half of an inch of rain in this general vicinity here through about Sunday morning. But what's going on meanwhile is we have a very active pattern here across the southeastern United States. There's a lot of moisture that's being drawn up into the southeastern United States from the Gulf of Mexico, thanks to the pattern that we have at play. So all this moisture is being drawn in here and just sitting across the southeastern United States, taking us through the weekend. In fact, the models are forecasting the potential for very heavy rain in parts of Georgia, South Carolina, and North Carolina during this time frame through the weekend. The Weather Prediction Center is warning of flood risk in this region. All that moisture is going to eventually get caught up in this system as it moves through. And so what the models are forecasting is that as this front drops down, you can see right now it looks like a generic cold front, but as it drops into the Midwest, it's actually going to merge with this incoming system, and the moisture is going to start flowing into it. So we're going to see some enhancement of precipitation here across the Midwest and the Great Lakes through the weekend. Models suggest this will slow down and stall out a bit, and we could even have some potential for heavier rains in parts of the Great Lakes Sunday into Monday morning. And that's going to keep that moisture coming here in the southeast states as well during that time frame. Sunday into Monday, we still have a frontal boundary here. You can really draw out where the system is here. Here's your cold front, this is your warm front, and your low pressure center is right in this general region, with this frontal system draped around it. So this is going to keep unsettled weather in the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley into early next week, and then that front will move on into the northeast states, providing some unsettled weather during the early and middle part of next week. But for anyone west of really eastern Iowa and Wisconsin, if you're in this general region here, you're not seeing much impactful weather at all. In fact, you're looking at quiet weather essentially from Sunday into Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. The models are very quiet during that time frame. And this is all because we have this upper low dropping down and developing and amplifying, right? So this is a big upper level low. That's where that storm system is through the weekend into early next week. Eventually, this is going to move out, though, and look at the ridging that the models have building up here towards the end of next week. We're right back to this pattern where we have ridging redeveloping, and not only that, but we're going to have a warm flow around this high pressure here in the southwestern Atlantic. So now we're getting lots of moisture coming back and warmth surging up, and this is just a recipe for a warmer than normal weather pattern. And you can see that by the end of next week, models are building warmth back in across the Midwest and the Ohio Valley. In fact, temperatures could be several degrees above average during this time frame as we move into the middle of September. This is next weekend, so from the 15th through about the 18th and 19th, it looks like we're going to have warmth really starting to expand here across the United States. Now, there could be a couple of precipitation risks associated with it. It depends on how these individual waves come out. In particular, Friday night into Saturday, the models are suggesting the possibility of some rains here. This is, again, next weekend, but we'll have to watch and see how that all plays out. The general theme, though, is that temperatures are going to warm up, and then we'll also see a bit of a drier pattern across the Ohio Valley. This is going to be your precipitation axis during that time frame. So after this cool and active pattern in the eastern belt, we're likely going back to a much warmer weather pattern across the entire belt as we move into later September. Weeklies still in good agreement on the pattern overall, and they continue to build the warmth as we move into late September here. You can see that developing through the 25th of September. Temperatures at least a couple degrees above average. And then even as we move into October, the model's consistently warm. This is the 30-day temperature anomaly here ending on October 24th. Warmer than normal across the majority of the plains, the Midwest, the entire ag belt generally during that time frame. And from a precipitation standpoint, at least slightly drier than normal across this region, with that storm track kind of gradually appearing in this general area during that time as well. So the forecast really has not changed all that much in the long range. We're likely going to see a bit of a cool down here as we move into the middle part of next week. But again, we talked about it, that ridging will come back and we're going to warm right back up, and models are quite warm as we move into the middle and latter part of September across the belt. Really very few harvest-related risks across the country, and from a sensible weather standpoint, likely looking at warmer than normal temperatures across a fairly large portion here of North America as we move towards mid-September. We will have a lot more coming for you in the next couple of days. We're finalizing our fall forecast. We're already starting to work on our winter forecast. So if you guys have any questions, make sure you let us know, and be on the lookout for announcements next week regarding the fall and winter forecast. The winter forecast is going to be a full webinar sign up, and obviously all of our clients will get that first. So we'll send some information over to you very soon to get you well ahead of that and get that on your calendar as we move forward. That's all for us for this morning. If you have any questions, be sure to let us know. Otherwise, have a wonderful Friday. Talk to you guys real soon. Take care.